At first, I honestly didn't expect Ladies First to work as well as it did. The idea sounds simple. A sexist, arrogant guy wakes up in a world where women hold all the power, and suddenly all the rules he used to benefit from are working against him. On paper, that could easily become a one-joke Netflix comedy. But surprisingly, I think the movie has enough energy, enough personality, and enough strong moments to make it one of Netflix's more interesting recent releases. What I liked most is that the movie doesn't try to hide what it is. It is not pretending to be some deep, prestige drama about gender politics. It is a comedy with a very clear message, and it uses that role reversal concept to make the audience uncomfortable in a funny way. Damien is used to having money, status, confidence, and power. But once he wakes up in this alternate world, he starts experiencing the kind of judgment, dismissal, and double standards that women deal with all the time. And that is where the movie works best for me. Some of the jokes are obvious, yes, but the point behind them is still effective. When men in this world are judged by their looks, talked over at work, underestimated, or treated like they should just smile and be grateful, the movie is basically holding up a mirror. It is not subtle, but honestly, it does not always need to be. Sometimes a simple idea can still hit if the execution is entertaining enough. Rosamund Pike is easily one of the strongest parts of the movie. She brings so much confidence and sharpness to Alex that every scene with her feels more alive. She does not feel like just a romantic interest or just a lesson for Damien to learn. She has her own presence, her own power, and honestly, she makes the movie feel more expensive than it probably is. Sacha Baron Cohen also does a solid job playing Damien as this irritating, privileged guy who slowly realizes the world was never as fair as he thought. But I also understand why some critics were harsh on this movie. The biggest issue is that Ladies First sometimes feels like it has one really strong idea, and then it keeps repeating that idea in different forms. The role reversal concept is funny at first, but after a while, you do start to feel the movie stretching it. Some scenes could have gone deeper, some jokes could have been sharper, and the world itself could have been explored in a more creative way. That is probably my biggest criticism. This alternate reality is such a good setup, but the movie does not always take full advantage of it. I wanted to see more of how this world works beyond the basic gender swap. How does politics work? How does the media work? How does dating culture work? How does family life work? The movie gives us enough to understand the point, but not enough to make the world feel completely fresh. The romance side is also a little mixed for me. Damien and Alex have chemistry, and I liked watching them clash, but I am not sure the emotional side of their relationship is fully earned. Damien's character growth is there, but it sometimes happens faster than it should. I wanted a little more time with him, actually understanding the damage of his old behavior, instead of the movie moving quickly toward the rom-com part near the end. Still, even with those problems, I cannot say I had a bad time with this movie. It is flawed, but it is also very watchable. The pace is easy, the cast is strong, and the message is clear without becoming completely boring or lifeless. I think some people will roll their eyes at how obvious it is, but I also think a lot of Netflix viewers will enjoy it exactly because it is direct, funny, and easy to understand. For me, Ladies First is about 70% positive and 30% negative. The positive side is the concept, the performances, the energy, and the fact that the movie actually gives you something to talk about after watching it. The negative side is that it could have been smarter, deeper, and more surprising. It had the potential to be a great satire, but it settles for being a fun Netflix comedy with a relevant message. So no, I would not call Ladies First a masterpiece, but I also would not call it a failure. I think it is one of those movies that works better as a conversation starter than as a perfect film. It is entertaining, it has a strong cast, and even when the writing gets too obvious, the main idea still connects. And for a Netflix movie, sometimes that is enough to make it worth watching. So, what did you think about Ladies First? If you've already watched the movie, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Do you think the film successfully delivers its message, or do you feel it never fully reaches its potential? Did you enjoy it as much as I did, or do you agree more with the critics? I'd love to hear your opinion and start a discussion with all of you. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future movie and TV show content. Your support really helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.